Hey everyone, Bon here. So what you're about to see is just a collection of various clips that I have from a Discord thread just talking about a mod I like, Miles of Aether, which is the character I'm playing here. I just enjoy it, so I wanted to kind of make a bunch of clips regarding it, the various moves, some things that make them fun, and just a general review of the character. The video itself will now just kind of go over these clips. There's not going to be a particular order of them. I'll try to make it look decent, but most of it's just going to be quick cuts into the other. And really that's all. There's not much else to this. This isn't really meant to be like high quality or anything. This is just me talking about something I enjoy. And that's about it. So now I'm just going to let Passme take over and explain the character to you all. See ya. Hello everyone. This is the Meta Knight mod. So this is one of my favorite ones that we've had in the game so far. And so this is a retake of Meta Knight from Kirby, though it uses mostly Brawl and Smash 4 gimmicks, at least for like the general moves. So I'm just gonna be taking you through this mod and just showing you the parts I like and the general moveset. So let's get into it. So we'll just start off with generally one of the more important things, the speed of the character. So flying speed is very controllable. Still has a goofy turn animation, which every mod should have. Run speed, he is, at least compared to the base roster, the third fastest character in the game, right behind Maple and Ori, the two super lightweights. Jumps, he has quite a few jumps. I believe it's the same amount he does in the normal Smash games. They generally go about as high as normal. So he is a very strong recovery. You should not be worried about going off stage with this character. And as for most characters, he does have a wave dash, which is one of the better ones. Very easy to get out of. He has pretty strong sword offs too. So movement-wise, this character is very strong, which is part of what makes him so fun. Okay, so for this portion, we'll just be going over the jab and the tilt. So Meta Knight's a pretty okay jab. It's not really that special. Does 5 damage as a 2-hit move. Not as good as the one in the Smash games, but it makes sense for the character here. So we're just going to be going over now the tilt, which there's forward tilt, which is a free hit combo move. Much better than the alternative. It's a little more difficult to get off just because it's very small hitbox at the start. However, it is much more rewarding. Alright, so now we'll be going over her up tilt and down tilt. So these are two very good moves that do combo into each other. As shown if I don't mess it up. Down tilt is just a good move to connect with the opponent and get easy combos in, while up tilt does about the same thing. They generally are kind of basic moves, but they do what they should. As you can see there, I'm going to be getting into that move in a moment here. And, yeah, so that's about it for them. Not really that special, but they do their job well. So, now we're going to be going over the dash tech. Dash tech isn't really much special. It does not have as much range as I really think I wish it did. But it's a pretty good connector. See, we have him at a bit of a higher percentage here. We can then, even now, combo into it. It's really just a combo move, as I'll also show for lower percentage here. It just exists to connect aerials. That's all. Gonna have to far reach or sun limit later percentages, but it's just a good move overall for comboing, but as a dash attack, it's not the greatest. So, next up here, we're going to be talking about Meta Knight's Neutral Air. A very good tool that's mainly just used for coverage and getting opponents away from you. The sword off version looks like this. It's mainly used for just keeping opponents away in a situation where you don't really have much else you can do. If you're playing on the defensive, this move can be very useful for just keeping opponents away from you before you can charge up a strong attack. Though, if you're playing aggressive, it's an okay tool. Generally, the point of it is just to get hits that you don't think you can hit normally, or to just start to do a fast attack to, as noted earlier, keep opponents away from them. It's not the greatest offensive tool, however, defensively it's a very good move, just don't expect to do much launch. So next up we'll be talking about Meta Knight's down and up air. These are two very useful tools, but I wouldn't say they're the best in this arsenal, at least for the down. Down here, the short up looks like that. You can use it to get some pretty okay hits in. It's not really that useful for short hopping with it. Up air short up looks like this. Generally I wouldn't go for it. You can occasionally get some chain hits in, but that's about it. The whole point of this move is just trying to keep opponents a bit away from you. It's like a lesser version of the neutral air. However, this move is used for chaining. So up air is very good at chaining hits like it is in most Meta Knight iterations. You can use it to get some pretty obnoxious combos in, such as that. Or alternatively, if you're trying to go for a kill move at a higher percentage, you might be able to hit something like that. Though it does not always kill, it usually can only land a kill at very high percentages. However, it is pretty good for racking up damage. Get hit with a couple of those, and you're going to quickly go from 0 HP to around, if I can get one off here, 24. Generally, that's the maximum amount of hits you can kill before getting punished with it. It's, at least in an early stage. Later, it gets lesser and lesser. However, it's very good for racking up damage in the early game, or potentially in a later situation getting a kill if you can hit the tornado afterwards. Alright, so now that we've gone over everything on the aerials, we'll go over the last two involving them, and then we move on to some other attacks. So this is going to be covering the forward air and the back air. Now, these are two very solid moves, but I won't be using the variants to it. They're basically the same thing. This is what they look like when short hopping, and this is what they look like when short hopping. I mean, they have the similar function, but if you're doing short hops, I use back more because you can get the full hit in easier. As for forward, it does around 8 damage, very strong launch, and back, pretty similar, also 8 damage, pretty strong launch. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either of these moves. They're both very useful combo tools, and I'd recommend just like consistently using it as much as possible. Maybe just because they combo with a lot of moves, they do incredible launch, and they're probably the easiest way to get a kill. So now we're talking about the stuff that you were waiting for, the strong attacks. These are very powerful moves. So, generally you're going to be using them a lot. Forward strong at full charge does 19 damage and a massive launch. Meanwhile, generally at full charge, down strong doesn't do much launch. It's more of a get away from me tool, as when you come down very quickly and does decent launch, at least more than the neutral air. And up strong is just a good kill move. You're not going to be using it too much to get full charge. At lower charge, that's what it looks like. It doesn't do too much launch, but it does just enough to get consistent results. Again, kind of, at a lower charge, you're going to be using that as a get away from me tool, but at full charge, you can use this to get some pretty clean kills. And that's basically it for the strong attacks. There's not really that much to them. They're just consistent and decent moves. Alright, so we'll be talking about Meta Knight's first special, the Mock Tornado. This is neutral special, and probably one of the better ones. Generally, you're using this for two things: combo finishers and recovery. Start with the combo finishers first. If you're trying to kill with an upwards combo, you're going to want to use the tornado. On its own, it's not really the most useful thing, as you see if you dodge very easily. And while it does have some decent launch, it's not something you want to risk, because if you use it in midair, well, you're going to go in the best. And generally, you're not trying to risk that if you're going for a combo, unless you're in a very desperate situation, or if you're like spare. a pretty good combo finisher for upward combos, and can be good if you fuck up combo or to try and get a bonus hit in. But the main purpose is recovery. Meta Knight's up air does not have a good vertical recovery, so you use the Mach Tornado to make up for that. It's a very useful tool and can generally save your ass pretty easily. And that's about it for the Mach Tornado. Very useful, remember to use for up combos, and most importantly, this is your vertical recovery. Now we're going to be talking about a move that's just used for recovery. Meta Knight's Up Special. Pretty similar to the Smash games. It's mostly based off of brawls, however it does not have the residual damage, as you can see here. Though there is an initial boost. It's not the most reliable move, I wouldn't recommend going for that many combos with it. Generally, just because it's very risky, and you will, no matter where you are on the stage, immediately go into fastfall. So it's a very easy way to get yourself killed if you're not completely confident. However, there's a nice little trick you do. If you're on a platform after you do this, you can air dash downwards and instantly get off of the tower. It's difficult to do, but it can be a nice tool. Now as for recovery, this is a very nice for horizontal recovery. As noted, it is not your vertical recovery. However, horizontally, you basically get from anywhere on the stage. Back on. This is the maximum distance you go, and even then, I land almost in the middle of the stage with no input. And with input, well, I can basically go across the entire stage. It's a very powerful tool. It's very difficult to counter. When combined with your good old neutral special, it's pretty damn good recovery. So now we're going over what I think is Meta Knight's worst special, though it's not bad by any means. It is his forward special. It's basically a copy of his down special from Smash Bros. The reason I say why it's the worst is it's basically just a more risky counter. It effectively works as you use it and you can control the direction and go through input. If you don't move at all, just direct hit it, they go right in front of you. Well, it's gonna do some okay damage. Depending on how far you hold your buttons here, it depends on how far it goes. It has very strong launch, however, it's really fucking risky. If you mess it up, you're going to instantly go into fastballs even when on the ground, and that's going to get you very easily punished. It's not a bad move by any means. If you're confident when using it, it's some very good hits in, and probably a pretty easy kill. It just happens to be one of Meta Knight's riskiest moves, and that's not a great move. So now we're going to talk about my favorite move, Meta Knight. And it's very simple. It's down special. He will jump in the air and dive down. That's pretty much it. This will do a meteor effect. It's a very simple move, but it is very fun to use. You can also chain it like this, and it's just oh so obnoxious for your opponent. It usually will not kill it until you reach higher percentages, but it's just fun. I mean, that's really the entire point of the move. It is an otherwise very serious characters and movesets to be just a goofy ass meteor that can kill ridiculously early, but can also get you killed just as early. I mean, it's extremely risky, but hitting it just feels so satisfying, especially if you're gonna deal with it. Overall, very fun to use. Just try not to do this. And so that's pretty much the end of the Meta Knight mod. They're just a very fast super fighter that doesn't really require that much technicality. Their entire point is just very strong combos. So, honestly, it's just a good character I'd recommend anyone trying to get in the route with paper. If you just want a mod for something familiar, if you played the games like Smash Bros, this is a great starter, and it's also just really fucking fun. Whether you're going for a bunch of chain combos that's really fucking annoying, whether you're just trying to do some cool shit like the side NSpecial, or, in all reality, if you're like me, you just want to do this shit. either or this character is a blast. Maybe not to fight against, but yeah, to play. So I'd definitely check it out if you get Rob's Vapor. And that's about all for Meta Knight. So I'll see you in the next showcase.